Hey guys, how we doing? Time to take a trip out to Ohio. Sharon Speedway. This was back on June 17th, 2008, so 13 and a half years ago by now. We were doing a show called Hot Wings TV, and the World of Outlaw sprint cars were there. There were a couple of guys who were big names that led to a packed house that night. You're going to see them in a little bit. A couple of guys that were not World of Outlaw regulars, but happened to be here on this night. You guys remember when everybody had those simulators? And I got to tell you, I was blown away by this track. Covered grandstand. Look at that surface. Look at this facility. This was just amazing. I remember leaving this place going, wow, this is how tracks need to be right here. I was totally blown away. And this is what they had sitting out front too. So, that is just, it was just cool as heck. Now, you remember these things here. This was back when sim racing was just starting to really pick up. And so there were certain people that had these units they would bring to the track, and you'd end up having, as in this case, there's 6 of them there, and you could race against each other on the racetrack. They'd have qualifying and all that stuff. But again, look at that covered grandstand there at Sharon. I mean, you talk about being blown away by a place. This at the time, because again, this was before the renovations happened in Weedsport. This was the nicest track I'd ever seen. From top to bottom. So, and now you guys are big World of Outlaw fans. You're going to see some familiar faces here in a little bit. And some of you might know who drives that number 20. The 15, of course, is Donnie Schatz, multi-time World of Outlaw champion. But we had a little thing set up that day where we were going to get to interview some people that we don't normally get a chance to talk to. So, just totally, blown away by the experience. I remember I left it, I think it was 4:30 in the morning to Rich Vleck and Mickey over in, I think it was somewhere out in Batavia, maybe somewhere out that way. This was my longest day I ever had. I remember woke up at 4:30. We went out to Ohio, back. I think I got home at like 8:30 or 9 in the morning. And of course, it took me another half hour to an hour to get to sleep after that. So I remember it was like 28, 29 hours in a row that I stayed awake. But it was well worth it. How many guys know who drove this car back in the day? It's that guy right there. We're going to get another look at him here in just a second. But I always love the shots inside the trailers because these World of Outlaw guys, they come organized and ready to go. There he is. They call him the Dude. Danny Lasowski, driver of the number 33. There, of course, this is Jason Myers, who is a multi-time champion on the series. Doesn't race anymore. His family always had a business, and that's Jason in the middle with his back to us there. And he got to a point, I guess, where they, just got too busy at the business, and so he had to give up racing. But there he is right there. One of the nicer guys you'll ever meet in racing. This was back when I was doing work with Tony Veneziano, and used to talk to him a lot on the phone. No Panic, Davey Franix, number 28 right there. Bubba Broderick hasn't raced in a few years, but he was one of the bigger drivers on the Patriot Sprint Tour or for quite some time, as obviously some of our locals were out there to take on the Outlaws as always. There's Bubba right there, had a nice smile, good-looking guy. Always enjoyed working with him, and these guys were great to do stuff with. There's Davey No Panic Frantic right there. Cap Henry, one of the up-and-coming drivers at that time, and you can tell he's still pretty young about that age. So Justin Barger, who's now married, has a little girl. And there is Donnie Schatz right there. Multi-time World of Outlaw champion. There's the car Casey Kane was driving on this day. Of course, Dodge was big with Casey. And a lot of you don't know, Washington State, huge for sprint car racing. They have a couple tracks they go out to. Skagit is one of them, I know, but there's another one out there too. And sprint car racing is huge in that part of the country. And a lot of people, when they think Washington State, they think, obviously Portland area and all that. Portland is Oregon. But, you think of trees and all that like you'd see behind, but you don't think about sprint car racing quite so much. Believe that's Casey Kane. We're going to see him later. I got to interview Tony Stewart on this night, and I will tell you this, after the race was over, he was hanging out with a whole bunch of people and just having a few cold ones, and really was just happy to be there and chatting with race people at this point. So I got to interview Tony, and Rich got to interview Casey Kane. And here's something that you don't really get a chance to see a lot when you see these guys on TV, because Rich is not as tall as me, and I'm 6'1". So you can tell Casey Kane is not exactly the tallest guy in the world. And there is Rich, Mickey behind the camera there. And again, Rich is maybe 5'10". Maybe I'm taking a guess. Rich, if I'm wrong, let me know. But Casey Kane, 5'6", maybe at the most. But again, to be successful in racing, it matters that you're not too big, you're not too heavy. And that's how Danica Patrick actually won a lot of races in the IndyCar, because back then they used to weigh the car without the driver. So often she had a little weight advantage in the car. Look at that racetrack, ready to go in Sharon. And again, totally blown away by this place. I was shocked. And man, we had a lot of good times doing the Hot Wings shows. Rich Vleck is one of the cooler guys to work with. Really pays a lot of attention to detail. It was a lot of fun working with Rich, and we got to go to a lot of cool places, as Hot Wings was a show that we did for a long, long time. Drivers meeting, as it's almost showtime here, and as you can see, they're getting in, ready to put some heat in the motors. Jason Myers right there. Again, one of the good guys in racing. Always made time. Paul McMahon won a lot of races. Hard-nosed racer right there. Danny Lasowski getting ready to go. And there's Mickey up on the roof. No, I was not very comfortable up on that roof, because you can see there's no railings, obviously. So, and you can see what he did here. I'm going to tilt down a little bit. You can see how he put the tripod legs right up against the edge there, so that way you don't accidentally push the camera and the tripod and everything off the edge. So the hot laps are taking place. They're getting heat in the motor. No, the cars are still out there, so they're just getting heat in the motors, and that, of course, is where everybody wanted to be. Hit that Blue E. We're going to find some more cool stuff for you tomorrow. I have a feeling that we might not be going a lot of places on Thursday. We wish you guys all the best. Hopefully there's no power outages and things like that, so we'll get through the storm just fine, and we'll have some more stuff up for you here tomorrow. You guys take care. We'll talk to you soon.